Hello, I am Mr. Connor, Robert Connor. I'm your Texas government professor for this 6 weeks online course this summer, and reminding you that it is just 6 weeks, and so you have to work diligently to get through the course. You can't just walk through the course. You got to jog through it. Sometimes you have to run to keep up, because if you get behind, it's hard to catch up. So just you had to work every day, Monday through Thursday. You get Fridays and the weekends off, provided that you are caught up in everything. If you're behind, then you have to work on Friday and weekends to catch up. So just don't get caught up and you won't have to do that. Okay, so I'm going to give you a brief overview of the course, and I'm always available to help you anytime with the course. Okay, this is what you'll see when you first start the course, and there is the menu up at the top, and the first thing up here is contents. Contents right up there. Okay, so you click on contents, and you'll see this page. This page gives you instructions on how to get onto Inquisitives. The Inquisitives are the product of the codes, what are called the codes. Not all courses use the codes. Codes are a very, very good learning tool, I feel. I'm all in favor of the codes. But they do cost some money, so sometimes the school doesn't want to pay, so you have to pay. Okay, you will probably be given a book for the course, and you look in the book and see if there is a little plastic insert right under the front cover. And if you look at that and you see that it has a code on it and it has not been scratched down, then you'll be able to use that code, so it won't cost you anything to get registered and access to the course. However, if you don't get a book, or if the book does not have a code, or if the code's already been scratched out, then you will have to buy a code. And the way that you do that is you start right here where it says Inquisitives, how to use Inquisitives. Okay, you're going to click on that and you will get a page which will walk you through getting access to the course. And that's where you had to either pay for the book, which is about $46, $47, and you need to have a credit card or a debit card handy to do that. Now, if you don't want to do that today, that's okay. You can elect to do what they call the trial version. You get a 3-week trial, and you don't have to pay for it. But at the end of 3 weeks, you got to pay for it in order to finish the second half of the course, the other 3 weeks of the course. Okay, so you walk through that and you get access to all of the features of the program, and you're ready to rock and roll. Now, the course is divided into 4 units. Okay, Unit 1 consists of chapters 1, 2, and 3. So only 3 chapters. And at the end of that, then you will have an exam on Unit 1. And you cannot do the exam until the day of the exam. Okay, you cannot do code ahead of time. Whenever the code is activated, for example, here on Unit 1, the code or the course exam on Unit 1 is activated on June the 12th, on June the 11th, and then it's due by June the 12th before midnight. So it's activated on June the 11th. So starting on June 11th, you can review the course, and you can take the course at that time. Okay, you can take it anytime on June 11th and 12th, but at midnight on the 12th, it turns into a pumpkin, and you can't take it after that. So you got to get the course Unit 1 exam on Unit 1 done before midnight on the appointed days. Unit 2 is the same thing. It is chapters 4, 5, and 6. And then you have an exam on Unit 2, and you have exam on Unit 3. And on Unit 4, that is the final exam. And the final exam is on Unit 4, which is chapters 11, 12, 13, and 14, plus there are 2 assessments. Okay, and so you will take that on the given date, which you will see in the literature. It's like, I think, from 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. In the morning of July the 8th. Okay, and so you can watch a review beginning on January the 1st, but you cannot take the exam. In this case, you cannot take it until July the 8th. And so there's not a wide window to take the exam. You have to take it on July the 8th, but you have plenty of time. I understand, I realize that some of you work and have working hours. And so I essentially made the exam available all day long. And so there's no excuse for not getting it done sometime during the day. I'm sure you're not working, 24 hours a day. So you should be able to take it without any problem. Okay. Now let me switch to my view in order to show you what's on the exams. Okay, let me go back to the exams, go back to content, and we're going back to the exams. Okay, chapter 1. Okay, this is typical of all the chapters. Okay, you have the outline on chapter 1. They provide an outline for you, so you don't have to outline it. They provide an outline for you. And then you have the ebook, and you use the ebook, and as you are doing the ebook, you will see that there are questions in the ebook. Okay. Okay, well, let's go down to the questions. So here we go. There are some multiple choice questions that you take, and you get credit for those. You get credit for everything you do in the course. Okay, these are easy questions. You just multiple choice, and if you miss one, you can go back and retake it, and you still get credit for it. Can't beat that. And that goes throughout all of the chapters 1 through 14. So there's your book in there. You don't need the soft cover book. If they give you one, fine, but you don't need it. You can get everything you need right there. Okay, let me go back to content. Okay, and you have the ebook for each chapter. You have flashcards for each chapter, and you have PowerPoints for each chapter, and then you have an inquisitive for each chapter. And this is where you go on and you answer questions and get points as you answer the questions, and you have to answer a minimum of 20 questions before you get a grade. But when you answer the 20 questions, you may have missed some of them. So when it shows your grade, it may not be 100. It may be 90 or 95 or 85 or what have you. Okay, you can continue answering the questions, as many questions as you want, and what we strive for is perfection, getting an A on every chapter, on every inquisitive. Just keep answering questions until you get enough of them right that you get full credit, and the computer will tell you when you succeeded and gotten your full credit, which will be a score of 10 points. You have to get 1,500 points on the inquisitive, but then you get a score of 10 points. And most of my classes, students go through and they answer all of the inquisitives, and many of them get a perfect score because you can keep answering the questions until you get a perfect score. You don't have to quit. Just keep answering questions. Don't give up. Sometimes they get hard, and when you're having trouble, the computer will actually come in and say, well, looks like you're having a little problem, so answer the next 2 questions correctly, and we'll give you a bonus of so many points. So they help you out. The computer helps you out, which is unusual. Usually computers are a pain. Okay, so at any rate, so all of these units and chapters work the same way. Now, what you don't do is this. Okay, you don't have to do the Citizens Guide, Confederate Monuments, or Animations, or Simulations, Chapter 1. You don't need to do those. If you do them, fine. You might show a grade, but the grade does not count. So you do not have to do these. There's nothing wrong with these, but I just did not want to overwork you and require too many activities for you. Okay. Okay, now you have to do a research paper. Okay, you have to do a research paper, or you have an alternative. You can do a research paper. Let me go down. Research paper, or you can do some alternate project, like some students have taken a trip out to the San Jacinto Monument, or to the Buffalo Soldiers Museum, or something like that, and written a little paper on that, and that serves. Or you can do a formal research paper, or you can do some alternate project and write about that, and then you don't have to do the research paper. Or you can do what I call an op-ed, which is you just pick a topic that you're interested in. Maybe you are interested in climate change, or maybe you're interested in abortion or gun control. And so you just do a shout out, what I call an op-ed. That stands for opinion editorial. And major newspapers do these. They pay people to write articles giving their opinion on topics, current topics. And that's what you do. You write an op-ed. You just sound off on something that you're interested in. Okay, and that serves. So you can do any one of those 3. You don't have to do all 3. You do either a research paper or some alternate project or an op-ed. Okay, here's a little PowerPoint that helps you in writing your, particularly if you're doing a research paper. And this little PowerPoint just gives you some hints as to how to do that. Okay. You have opportunity for extra credit. Okay. This extra credit is 2 points, and it's a gift. All you have to do is go on and write a letter to me. Write a letter to me. Tell me something about yourself. Tell me what your career plans are. Tell me what makes you happy, what makes you sad, what makes you afraid, what makes you, what are your goals in life, just whatever you want. You can tell me anything you want to. It's confidential. Nobody's going to know about it except you and me. And you get 2 bonus points, just for doing that. Okay? So that's a good opportunity. Now you have videos of the day every day. Click on that and you get some interesting stuff. Okay, and here I'm saying that the school may furnish you a textbook. It may have a flap on the inside of the front cover, and it may have a code on it that has not been used. And if it hasn't been, then scratch that sucker off and use it, and then you don't have to pay anything to get access to the course. But if you don't get a book, or if the book doesn't have a tab in it, or the tab's already been scratched off, it's already been used, then you have to buy your access, which, like I said, costs somewhere around $46, $47. But you don't have to buy anything else. That's it, because your book is part of what you're buying. Okay, so you have things day by day that you can click on. You have some music, you have some jokes, you have interesting things. You also have reminders of exams, so forth. So you click on the video of the day, and that gets you started. Okay, grades. Let's get to grades. That's important. Okay, you can see your name on there, alphabetical order. There's 20 students in the class, and these are your grades. Your grades, as you do things, you get credit for them. You get credit for everything that you do. You get credit. You even get credit when you are doing those what I call tutorial or introductory inquisitives. This is the first one that you clicked on, how to use inquisitive, and then how to evaluate sources. In other words, how to evaluate something that you see on the internet, or something that you read in a publication, or what have you. How do you evaluate that as to whether it's the truth or not? So that's just how to evaluate sources. And then you have quantitative literacy. That is just how to read charts and graphs. Okay, so those are 3, and you get credit. You get points for every one of those things as you do it. And that's your first assignment after you get access to the course, which is where you go in and you either use your code that was in your book, or you buy a code and you get access to the course. And so then you start doing the inquisitives. Inquisitives on chapter 1, and you do that, and 2, and so forth. You have an inquisitive on each chapter. And remember, you only do the chapter inquisitives. You don't do those other things below that, like the Texas, monuments or what have you. You don't do any of that. You just do the inquisitives for each chapter, and the other things are just, and also you do on the book, on the Norton book, you answer those multiple choice questions, and you get credit for those. You get points for those. Okay, and so you look at your course introductions. You have your syllabus, here that gives you view of your whole course, and also the grading, how the grading is done. And the important days. Now this is a picture of your textbook if they give you one. But I say don't go to the bookstore and buy a soft covered book, because they cost about $125. And if you buy the book, you get the code in the book, but you don't need to spend $125. If the school doesn't furnish you a book with a code, then just buy the code, and you got the ebook inside. Okay. All right. Now this is the scoring. Okay. Your exams total 40% of your grade. 40%. 40 out of 100. The two assessments which you will have on the final is 10 points. Your research paper is 10 points. Research paper, alternate project, or op-ed, you get 10 points toward your score for that. Attendance and class participation, 15%. So here again, to do your attendance, you simply log on each day, Monday through Thursday, except for holiday. And we have a holiday, Juneteenth, which is June 19th, so you don't have to log on. If you log on, that's great, but you don't have to log on. I'm not going to give you attendance for that date. Or also July the 3rd. July 4th, I think, is on Friday, but July 3rd is a holiday for us. So you don't have to log on July 3rd or June the 19th. Okay, but every other Monday through Thursday, you log on and you get marked present for having logged on. And of course, once you get logged on, do some work, get something done. Okay, and so the questions in the ebook, you get a total of 10 points for those. And then the inquisitives, you get a total of 15 points for those, and that totals out to be 100 points. Okay, so that's pretty much the gist of there's a lot more in the syllabus, and have important dates. These are the important dates. Okay. July 3rd and 4th are official school holidays, but since I don't require you to work on Friday anyway, so it doesn't it's a holiday anyway for you, provided you are up to date in your coursework. Okay, and so be sure to watch my goodies there at the end, Mr. Connor's specific rules. You read those, and also I got a little thing, some words of wisdom. So those are Bob's commandments. There's only 6 of them. I'm not God, so there's not 10 of them. It's only 6. So read those and think about them. Okay. Also, the last thing I want to point out is the calendars, which are very, very helpful. Also, point out to you, you need to log on and check your email many times a day, at least 2 or 3 times a day. Check your email, because I send out a lot of email instructions and reminders and so forth. So do that. Check your email. Check your email. Okay. Okay, let me get, that's the grades. Okay, let me get to the calendars. Being contents. Here we go. Calendars. Okay, so you look at the calendar and it tells you day by day what you should be doing. I think maybe Victory Campus will have some kind of Juneteenth celebration. They have in past years. I don't know if they're having one this year or not, but they have it on a Saturday. Juneteenth, of course, is here, but they may have something on Saturday. If they do, you can go to that, participate in Juneteenth, or you can go to one of the Juneteenth parades right down the street in Acres Homes. They have a Juneteenth parade. I think they also have some downtown. You can participate in the parade, take some pictures to show that you were there, and bingo, that's your alternate project. Okay, just attend the parade. Okay, so that is the June calendar, and then the July calendar comes up, and that gives you your final exams, okay? 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. So I'm giving you all day long to do that exam. Now, when you start the exam, it is timed. You can't work on it all day long. I'm just saying you can take it at any time during the day. And I set that out deliberately because I realize that a lot of you have work schedules and you have to find time away from work to take your exams. So I just left it open. Anytime, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., you can take the exam. Okay, so, all right. Okay, I think that's all I have for you. And I'm happy to have you in the class. And just work hard and get your work done, and you'll make a good grade. Okay, thank you much, and you have a good one.